Sub-Saharan Africa is severely impacted by what is going on in the region. Small island states, for example, in the Pacific, you start to have a few islands that just don't have enough fuel anymore. So the impact of the war and the blockade that is linked to it has a deep impact. And it shows that war is development in reverse. It takes decades to lift people out of poverty. It takes 6 weeks of war to push them back into poverty.
Are you confident that a diplomatic solution can be found between the US and Iran?
Am I confident? I have no crystal ball. Am I hopeful? Yes. And that, of course, is the first measure, is to stop the war, or at least come to some type of normalization of the shipping lanes in the Strait of Hormuz. But even if the war would stop today, you will need economic interventions to avoid that whole countries and whole populations are being pushed back in poverty in a structural way. Yeah, it's macroeconomic interventions that international financial institutions can do on, for example, providing targeted and time-limited cash outs to populations who are impacted, or providing free access to fuel, cooking gas, and so on. If you don't do these targeted, timely macroeconomic interventions, you will have many more ripple effects. And we have not talked about the ripple effects of poverty, of food insecurity. That could lead to additional conflicts, that could lead to more displacement and migration flows, that could lead to other types of extremism.
And you're obviously part of the UN, an institution which has been heavily criticized recently. The US, by the US president, for example, there are fears that his board of peace could replace it. What does the UN bring to the table in this geopolitical context that we're facing now?
We have multiple UN organizations that, despite the criticism, and I'm not deaf for the criticism, are very, very much appreciated by the populations with whom we work. Now, the key element for us is to have access. For example, in Gaza, which is a really desolate place these days. More than 85% of people have lost their homes and are living in the middle of the rubble in tents that not even worth the name of being a tent. We can help many more people. We can provide way more assistance, but we're not getting the access. My attitude would be, game on, let us show what we're capable of, but then also give us the room to do so. For the moment, there's no access for UN organizations, but no one else is doing it. I'm open to work together with the Board of Peace. I think the Board of Peace is based on a Security Council resolution. It has helped in bringing a ceasefire or the diminishment of fire in Gaza. These are good things. I mean, these are realizations of the U.S. administration. But now we need to move into the next phase, and moving into that next phase really is urgent in helping people to reconstruct their lives.